Yes, my friends, this is your boy Bunny again. Coming to have another little talk with you, my fans. And remember, I always say this. If it's your first time on the channel, don't forget, like, share, comments, and subscribe to the channel. I also want this time to say a big thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all my viewers. And if it's the first time on this channel, thank you for taking time to watch this channel. This is your boy Bunny, and I'm just here to share my life with you, my fans. So, what am I going to talk about today? I want to talk to you a little bit about childhood days growing up in Jamaica. A lot of you, my fans, who come from Jamaica will understand exactly what I'm talking about. And for you lot who live in a foreign country and have no experience about what I'm talking about, just listen. And this is true life story. So, where I'm coming from, as a boy growing up in Jamaica, firstly, at the age of, I would say, 6 year old, we have to walk, I would say, at least 2 to 3 miles to go to school and back. Because there was no school near. It was pleasure. That was private school. Coming up to big school, it was even worse because the journey to big school, if we walk on the right road to go to school, we're probably talking about 7, 8 miles. But if we walk through shortcut, the journey can probably cut to about 4 miles if we go through a shortcut. But what I want to take back is at that age coming up, our parents was farmer, because that's what we grew up and know, our parents as farmer. So when my dad used to do work at bush, he will have man at bush at work, and mama would have to go to bush and cook the lunch. And while the lunch is cooking, they will spread bag and put us on as little baby to sit, while they do what they have to do. But when you grow up bigger and you reach the stage where you have to do your own chores at home, and you start to raise animals like guinea pigs and rabbits and stuff like that, goats and cows, and in the morning when you wake up, you have to go to the bush and tie out the goat and look the rabbit feeding, come back home and go carry water from down at the gully to fill up the drum, get yourself ready to school. And as I explained to you, the journey that we have to get to school, it's not near. But when school over, you have to make sure you reach back home before it get dark, because you have to do the reverse. You have to go back a bush, look rabbit feeding, bring home the goat, and then carry the water again. That's the reverse. Now, when night time come, this is where this little bit get funny to me. Because when we come home and do what we have to do and we start to play with a friend and it get dark, as a child, you don't want to go out in the dark. You want to stay indoors. And you have to go and tidy, wash up or bathe or whatever you call it. And the funny thing about it, when we go to bed, Mama used to have a habit where she used to come in the bedroom when it get dark, and she will lift the sheet off of your foot, and she will look upon your foot, and she will ask the question. She call you by your name, and she will ask the question because she look by every one of your foot. And in the bed, you might have 3 of us in the bed asleep as a boy picnic. And over the other bed, you have the two girls over there for them bed. And she lift up that sheet. And she called you by your name and said, did you wash your foot? And you say, yes, mama. And she will ask the question again, did you wash your foot? And you answer the question again, yes, mama. And when she said, get up, you know why she called Papa, you know? Because she called Papa, it go nasty. But the difference is, outside is pitch black dark. And because you know you never wash your foot, when she said get up, that means you have to go there. But that night, you just think, say, you know what, you never want to go out there, you would have get away with it by go to bed with a dirty foot and a wash. So you get up and you have to end up go to the door, go wash your foot. And when you come back in, you have to go shower your foot. So these are the type of life that we grew up as a boy. We have a reverse morning and evening. It's like a chore that we have to do. You see, in this country, you have the children to do something and they say to you, in a minute. We never have those type of talk. Because when your parents tell you to do something as a child that grew up, you can't say in a minute. You just have to get on and do what they tell you to do. Because just the look, when they look at you, you know what that means. The next thing, if you're at home and somebody come to the house and attack to your parents, and you dare come to stand where them is, like you want to listen to the conversation, they don't need to tell you to move or go away. They just turn their eye and look at you. And you dare not ask any more questions. You just go. Because they mean that you're not welcome here. Move. Nowadays, parents talk to somebody and children butt into the conversation. 5-year-old children, 4-year-old children just butting in parents' conversation. Like them here talk to. The next thing I want to touch on is the discipline and the respect that we have to have while we was growing up as a child. Because we dare not walk on the road and do something and make an adult see that we're not supposed to do. Because if that adult don't drag you up there and then on the spot and give it to a shake until it go on, they will go home and they will tell your parents. And when you come home, your parents will deal with you. So, when we was growing up as a child, we have to respect the adult, otherwise called the elder. We have to respect them. I remember one day I was going to school one morning, and I met a lady coming up the road. And I can't remember if I said good morning to this lady, but I doubt I would pass this lady and don't say good morning to her. But I carry on to go about my business, and the evening when I come home, my dad called me and he said, did you see XYZ this morning? And I couldn't remember. He asked me the question again. He said, did you see XYZ this morning? And I couldn't remember. My dad turned to me and he said to me, the next morning, or the next day, somebody come here and tell me that you passed them on the road and not say how they do. Me and you. So this is just show you what it is like with we growing up as a child. Nowadays, things is not the same. You know, today I was watching a video and I was listening to King Nick in Jamaica talking about wet in bed. And I said, King Nick, big up to you. One love, respect. I respect you so much, King Nick. I respect you so much. And listening to your conversation, I just want to bring you into this video because I was just laughing when you was talking, King Nick. I was just laughing. Big up to you, big up to you. Because I can remember up to the age of 11-year-old, I was still wet in bed. Yes, up to the age of 11, I was still wet in bed. And I spoke to a lot of people about this situation. And because my dad used to beat me so much, somebody said to me, it's because of the beating while you wet bed up to that age. But I try everything to stop. Even when King Nick said about the soursop belly, yes, me eat enough of that. But that never make any difference. But you know what? Most of it is dream. Because I will go to bed, good, and I will lie there. And believe me, I will get a dream that I'm outside doing a pee. And literally lie there and doing a pee and think I'm outside doing that pee. And it's only when me soaking wet, I realize sometimes I don't even know until in the morning when we wake up and find me wake up in the water. So King Nick, it's not you alone. I've been down that road as well. So big up to you. You know, we good when we can sit down and look back in our life as a child. So the next subject I want to touch on is when we was going to school as little boy and our parents never have it. So when we went by one exercise book, they cut the exercise book in 2 half, and one get half and the other get half. And one pencil cut sometime in 2 or in 3 or in 4. And we have to argue who gonna get the rubber part of the pencil and who gonna get the other part. And then we get one rubber. And if you remember, there's rubber that have 2 different colors. And they will cut that rubber in 4. So they cut it in half and then long way like that. And we get piece of the rubber. Then we used to get this thing called slate. I don't know if you remember slate, what slate is in the West Indies. Type slate in the comments. Because we used to carry this thing at school called slate. And it used to be in a wooden frame. And I tell you, there's several times we go to school and we are run and fall down. And that slate gone down the road. And by the time you get to it, it broke out in 4 pieces. Sometimes you manage to put it back into this thing. Sometimes you have to carry a piece of slate to school. Yes, I've been through these things. Barefoot, short trousers. But when you look at our khakis, short khaki trousers and shirt, the seams stand up in them. Because one thing, when mom used to wash them and starch them with cassava starch. So, my fans, I have stories. So if you want to hear about my life stories, like the video, comments, give the video a thumbs up, share the video that others can see it, subscribe. This is your boy Bunny. If you want to hear more, give the video a thumbs up. And the more thumbs up you give the video, is the more story I will bring out. God bless. Your boy Bunny, peace and love. I'm out. This one called Story Time.